Yo, what's going on, guys? And shout out David Aldridge. He just put out a report saying that the Washington Wizards are trying to pull basically what the Minnesota Timberwolves did last year. Timberwolves, we don't know if it's worked out, but the Timberwolves went out and got themselves Tim Conley, who was like the basketball architect for the Denver Nuggets. And in my opinion, I think we're seeing a very similar thing happen over here in Washington, where Washington is reaching out. By the way, I'm at work right now. You guys know I'm a reporter out here in Topeka. But what we're hearing right now is our boy David Aldridge saying Masai Ujiri and Bob Myers are two guys that basically might be available for the Wizards to go out and get themselves said, president of basketball operation. And my thought process is, why the heck not? So if the Wizards, this is what David Aldridge writes, if the Wizards want a team that contend for a championship, say before the 50th anniversary of their last one, they need to get someone who's already drawn and memorized the roadmap to a championship. And Bob Myers, the guy who's the architect for the Golden State Warriors, and Masai Ujiri, the architect of the Toronto Raptors, two guys that they're going. We know Bob Myers' contract is expiring. And let's talk about it. So Ted Leonsis, tell me if I'm saying that's right. That's the owner's name. He fired Tommy Sheppard, which we needed to. All right. Someone said he was the Bruce Allen of the NBA. That was funny. That was a good comment, whoever commented that. And for me, look, the strategy, the build from the middle did not work. I personally believe we need to keep Kyle Kuzma, Kristaps Porzingis, and Bradley Beal. I don't think we trade Bradley Beal because I don't think if there's a deal out there that, is available or a good deal, then let's do it. But I can't fathom a deal out there. The only deal I could see is Zach LaVine, and I don't even want to trade for Zach LaVine. Tell me a deal down below who you trade Bradley Beal for, and let me hear your thoughts. Because right now, in my mind, I don't think the only reason we trade Bradley Beal is to get off the contract, but we wouldn't be getting anything in return that's worth the value that is Bradley Beal, and which is an all-star at the very least. So now, look, this is a team that has not been executing right. In the last 4 years have not been great. We can't draft, we can't develop, and for us, we're hearing that Ujiri and Bob Myers should be at the top of the list. Ujiri is the vice chairman and president of the Raptors, while Bob Myers is the Warriors president of basketball operation and the general manager. Arguably the two best, the two best organizations head guys. And we saw what other teams have done. Think about Leon Rose, how he's changed the Knicks. So you could go after, his VP, Scott Perry. There's also the Bucks assistant GM, Milton Newton. Hawks former GM, Travis Schlenk. Clippers GM, Mike Winger, are all guys that David Aldridge recommends that they should go. And Leonsis, the owner, prairie with now Wolves general manager Tim Conley in 2019. All right, he tried to get Tim Conley to come here, but he couldn't convince him. And I don't blame the guy, all right? I don't blame him for not being able to convince Tim Conley come over. And Tim Conley's actually like the Towson boy. He's from the same area I'm from in Maryland. We basically grew up in the same area. Obviously, he's 20 years older than me, but from the same town, if I had to say. So for me, I'm over here looking at the current situation and thinking, hey, Ujiri and Myers are the best. Everybody knows that Golden State's kind of on their last run, and they haven't given a contract extension to our man, Bob Myers, and everyone's expecting him to leave. And that's why, everything's, kind of at this expectation. While then, you also have our guy, for me, when I think of Ujiri, I like him. I'd rather have Bob Myers. But Ujiri was a guy who he fired Dwayne Casey, who was super popular, and then replaced him with Nick Nurse, traded DeMar DeRozan for Kawhi Leonard. And for me, what if my big thing with Ujiri is, yes, he's done good. Like the whole Kawhi Leonard thing was awesome. The Kyle Lowry thing was awesome. But I think obviously if we're trying to decide between Masai Ujiri and Bob Myers as the top two guys to go after, I mean, Bob Myers is going to be a free agent. I think it'd be easier to get than Masai Ujiri. Plus, I think Masai Ujiri, I feel like a lot of people just let him live off of, like, look, I know he also built, only 7 teams have won more games than Toronto. So I know they've done good, but Ujiri's pure passion wears his heart on his sleeve and isn't afraid to make, not suitable for work statements. While Myers is, contemplative. I've never heard that word before, but look, Ujiri is one of the top paid executives, and so is Bob Myers. So if whoever hires will inherit Wes Unseld Jr., and if you're going to change the assignment, you have to give a coach a fair shot, and the GM will still have to have higher fire authority going forward. And it's kind of funny that back in the day, there's a great reference that Eddie Jordan was the coach hired before Ernie Grunfeld was hired to head the office, and we saw how that worked out. And the big thing is Bradley Beal has a 15% trade kicker on his remaining $207.7 Supermax contract. So it's going to be a massive ask to see how you fix this team. I want to hear you guys' thoughts. What would you guys do?